My Jesus, I love thee, I know thou art mine. For thee all the follies of sin I resign. My gracious Redeemer, my Savior art thou. If ever
There is a time for everything under the sun, a time to be born and a time to die. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 2. A great giant in the kingdom of God has fallen, a compassionate and great father to many, and a preacher of the gospel of Christ has left the stage. On Saturday, 24th May 1952, the late Very Reverend Dr. Asford Quarcoo, as he became, was born to Emmanuel Ataoku Quarcoo of blessed memory from Akoto Choshishi and Madam Mary Na Momo Quarcoo from Abola Manshapuna. He was the third child among the children of his parents. He started his primary education at the Presbyterian School, Agbon Yartey, Kolewokon, and continued at the Sempe Middle Boys School at Mamprobi, where he obtained the Standard 7 certificate in 1967. Asford proceeded to the Ebenezer Senior High School, Mamprobi, where he sat for the GCE O-level exams in 1972 and passed with distinction. Through the support of Mrs. Gladys Alluti of the Wharton Methodist Society, Asford gained employment at the National Lotteries Authority at the Personnel Division. From a Christian home, Yartey became poised for serving his Maker and devoted his time and energy to the work of God. He joined the late N.O. Sakifiu's class and became a chorister for the Wharton Methodist Society in the South Accra circuit and was very much involved in the preparation of Sunday's liturgy and Bible readings with Brother Ben Quay, who happened to be his classmate at Ebenezer Secondary School. He also joined the Accra Peace Choir under the leadership of the late Nathaniel Pani Adi of the 70 Band Toko Group, among many others. Very Reverend Asford Yartey Quarcoo became a local preacher and was assigned preaching appointments on numerous occasions to many societies of the Methodist Church. He also served as a secretary to the Wharton Methodist Choir and the Freeman Youth Fellowship before becoming the first vice president of the fellowship in 1980. By dint of his impressive and impeccable record, he held on to the position for 3 consecutive years before entering Trinity College, now Trinity Theological Seminary, in 1982.
Mami for Badina Mami Bidun, do Badina Mami, 1 year, do for Benjamin. You are better in fire, in fire, call, in fire, tear. They tell them brother, come brother, and the brother. Only here, yeah. And yeah, they bought it. They are Calafia, Bocala honey. They must see a Temahaya, Yale, their belly. I can't pass if you can bath. Can't bath. I can't buy hill. Yeah, lady. I can't have it for. I can't one collect machine. No, me, I'm not like my name, baby. I can't. Yeah, I little tired, myself. Me, I'm a basco, I can't do my. I should be a Yartey. And I was schooled. And class was schooled me, be a there, no, me, a possibility there or there. But there be a fair school, ya Jabby. Then Cala was schooled me, ya Jabby. Next, but I at the Sempe school now fair. Man, probe Sempe a Yartey. Now, may I? Come now, boss, so I bought so penny. Come now, boss, I mean, you catch all call it. Kaka Betty. I mean, that I feel. They can be 7 da. They be 7 na. Okay. Ebaya, a channel. And collect evidence. One I can't better. No uncle Jaja. Mammy cook me a care. Ma, I first go your dog or bed or shot all that sample. No call some more. Kalaya Jaba Hill. Nikayate Jabe. Na Hayate. Yate Tashi. Now, what shall was more? What's our feeling club? No, there's our feeling. I Nick, but I feel like Ebenezer. No, what Ebenezer? I can none. 2 shake a small one on it, I just say. Oh, but I can't offer them. I can't be Matashi. I can't ask for Tashi. Kakani. I could say, Jediash, just why ya jay. Ja, kanske från 2 är det okej body na me fe be za bi fe man probi ba ja ne be la ka small body le a cha do body e be le a cha do body po papa be ma na fe papa ka te kuma se no e ba la ka sister ko ya choko be de te body ne a hi body Bedi asana pay fees there. I pay and I have well ni be a ba shane. Shekate. This is a choco. They back me. I can ma. I can boarding school fees. Yes, I need my pay. She didn't pay where 1 year they be a don't get it. Coshinya choco. The need tea. That's I mata no coconi. I can't pay. Your boy drum of back me. In Tadu couldn't pay. Then I could say a day body a channel. A body here can't see, it can be now. But there, there be now. But if I can't oblige him to be a body and ask for a cafe big bed now. No, Mammy Glacier, dear. My boy, Mammy Glacier, money, I can't get my boy, my real dog, my my Glacier chubby, they can't no ask for back here, no, Bobo, they couldn't. You ain't sure, couldn't that tree. But I know what they name be a bar. Do me, I took question. The first sober. Yeah, can they see? I be yeah. They can't be that yeah. The you go for that to question. I be a show them by me. Ya kadi, the care be a care. Oh, Billy. She, oh, by here in the bed. Cabole, me market, Kajak man, hold a car for the idea car. A quaddy, I be canny a grip. E pa fe e wo e de wo ko de ba se e ba le ma mi le ka to ko e che ba se do mi ma mi le ke te da ko ma John Shen do ya te ka ho de fo ni a here ke ka ni ke gbe a ke se ba mi le ke le ya ba no e mi do ya te e ja hu da de te a je school e she no e ba la ke ba gbe de e ya you fellowship do e ba la ke ya te Mammy, I got some ya, make Basaya. I don't want it. A bit like best to go and Mammy bar, a bar, and I will look. The Mammy, care like a care, I can be a body. No, I tell Lotis. Besides, I lotte. Ne, education, now here, I tell you, Lotis.
Asford ni Yartey Quarcoo met his better half, Sarah Na. At a choral performance by the Accra Police Choir. This led to a relationship in 1970. They got married on 25th of December 1975 at the Freeman Memorial Methodist Chapel, and the wedding was blessed by the Right Reverend Dr. Seth A. Aye, former Superintendent Minister of the Accra South Circuit, and they were blessed with 5 biological and other foster children. They are Abigail, Samuel, Gideon, Joshua, and Charles Quarcoo. For the biological children, the foster children are Reverend Dr. Solomon Lottie, Mrs. Joan Grace and Mokai, Carlos Myers, Gabriel Odote Akuno, and Edwin Temeng.
Papa inofia no jile. Ne mi pe GB yo. Ne mi GB kenklen ho. No one collection mo very special. E de ake echula mi na jin. The honey in the ake being alo kayo jimmy, esa ni mahani in here. Sani mahani awa. Ne inka honey me ye no. No, a honey fe clackla. Tamo bene yo ko nam papa no onami. Ni nakanji boni edu e wo mi. Egbele egbai na wa denche because imbole ni susu wake eba shimi at this time. Eja ke ni bi pi kan wo hie ni ekemi ake kemi ba fe ni wo susu ye ni wo ba fe. Domi ake shimi ne kemi noko because e wo mi shin ake kemi ba hin shi. Kejebe ni wo mami gbo e. Leji money fe tesa no wapasa wa hie ke no ye no fi anomi. She unfortunately I can't inuko egbele eshishin and I'm still me being here searching more ake why this time they say 14th February ni mami gbo now 14th February no eshiwo ete I still can't take it inuko egbele eshishin up till now. I can be a lay. Dan grandpa was cut down, maybe we'll buy a grandpa one. Maybe grandpa Baba Slower. Okay, grandpa war, it is low. No could be no by no feet. They can be dear. Until I mean, here, phenomena. Grandpa better to my Benny grandma who bear.
What my dad and I had was a peaceful and loving, normal father and son relationship. My daddy was a strong man. He loved all of us. And me, myself, being the first son, he was always very particular about what I do, what I say, where I go. And every aspect of my life, he was very interested. He was always advised me, calls me on phone, talks to me, wants to know how my wife and my kids were doing, and a whole lot of things. Being with my dad was fun. At a point in time, it was like a brother, because he would call me, we would talk about politics, we talk about the church, we talk about the things of God, and a whole lot, any other thing that comes to mind, we talk about it. Sometimes it's amazing, we spend hours on phone talking. Sometimes too, I'll go over to his house. I will spend close to 6 hours talking. So, Daddy and I, what's a cordial relationship? It was fun to be with. And in his last days, I happened to be by his bedside before he passed on. And it was I wouldn't say it was sad. I would say that for the caliber of person he was, he knew what was at stake for him. He knew his God and he knew the time was up for him. Because statements he made, things we spoke about and things we talked about, all directed to the fact that he was going home. And amazingly, he passed on. So we give glory to God.
So how has it hit you and how old was he?
Well, for me, I would say it has not been too painful because of the things we spoke about before he passed on. Like I was saying, in the week before he passed, I happened to be beside him, and on Monday we visited him at the hospital, and he said, "This is the last stage. Very soon all will be over." We thought it was one of those things he usually says, and moreover, he was ready to be discharged to come home, because since one is in the hospital and he's saying this is the last stage of his treatment and he'll be coming home, we thought that was it. He'll be discharged and he'll be coming home, because he was very healthy and very fine when we met him. And then on Tuesday, he called me about 1:20 a.m. and said I should bring his wallet along when I was coming the following morning, and that he wanted to pay his bills. And I was like, Daddy, we brought you here. We have been paying everything. We have been doing anything. So what do you need your wallet for? He said I shouldn't worry him. We should bring his wallet. So I quickly called my mom and told her, this is what the old man said. He said, when we are coming tomorrow, we should bring the wallet. So we took the wallet and we went the following morning. And amazingly, when we got there, he never asked of the wallet. He never asked of the wallet. And then he told us that he wanted his favorite food, that is fufu and light soup. So he wanted it on the following morning, which was Wednesday. So Wednesday came, we brought him the fufu and the light soup, which he ate. Nothing showed the man was going. He ate. And then after eating, he said we should go back to his chapel and tell his stewards that they should bring along the checkbooks, everything he has to sign. They should bring it along for him to sign, which we did. And then we took it to him on Thursday. He signed. And then we came back home. On Friday, we went to visit him. He was fine. We were sitting down. He was teasing us. He was joking with us. And there was another minister of God or man of God beside him. And he was laughing at that man and teasing him that why should a man of his caliber be sick and come to the hospital? So we all laughed about it and then we left. Saturday, the same thing, we went. And he told us he had a very important meeting the next day, which was the Sunday. He said he had a very important meeting on Sunday at 5 a.m. early in the morning. So for us, we thought maybe since it was a Sunday, the hierarchy of the church would be coming to him to talk to him or to visit him, whatever. So that was what we thought, not knowing he was talking about something else. So on Sunday dawn, that's exactly about 1:20 a.m., he passed on. And I was called at 7:15 by the hospital. I was given the sad news. So that was what it looked like. But you know, we give thanks to God because, like I said, he knew what was happening and he knew his time was up.
It is with a heavy heart that we pay this tribute to you at this time of the day. Indeed, we knew one day this day would surely come, but we didn't expect it to be that early. But all the same, we know that God moves in mysterious ways, and in the fullness of time, he does whatever pleases him. We are not worried, neither are we sad, but we are only going to miss you as a father because you prepared us adequately for this day. Indeed, we missed the fun we had together as a father and son. You had a different way of dealing with each and every one of us, dependent on our attitude and the way we are. You related to us as a father indeed. And we are going to miss you dearly. Sincerely, we are going to miss you. All your children, your adopted children, your grandchildren, your mother, everybody in the family. We are going to miss you dearly.
My dad was a man of faith. He was really a man of God who brought us up with prayer and the fear of God. I quite remember some time ago when we were at the Brie, I felt very sick and I was admitted for some time in the hospital. When I came back home, he made me sleep on his bed and asked my mom to sleep on the floor, and he didn't sleep the whole night. He was praying for me, assuring me that I'll be fine and all those things. And this tells you how spiritual or how much faith he has in God. And all of us, since childhood till we grew up, it was God and depending on God for everything that we do. He taught us how to pray and all those stuff. And I personally believe that his death shows his faith in God. That for him to tell us that he was going for a very important meeting the day he died is a confirmation to this that he was really a man of God. He was a man who believed in God and all those things. My relationship was with my dad. We sometimes fought a lot because sometimes we didn't understand each other because he wanted me to do things in a setting. We also felt like no, I wanted to do it my own way. That was how things were. But at the nutshell, we are cool. We were cool, and It has been a nice experience and a nice feeling being his son and the last born, and being the last born. And I also want to say that I encourage all of us, especially my siblings and everybody, that his death should encourage us to draw closer to God and have more faith in him, because he was a man who believed in God, had faith in God, and as such we should also try as much as possible not to lose our faith in God, but we should draw closer to him in everything that we do.
I don't know if you a lot. It's not feel and intention to project a bear. I can to like a film if we get taken. From infancy, I was rejected by my dad. She knew she me by woman a woman bear. If you're not fiano and Calibania school, if in school, Benite, Adventist secondary school, Accra Poly, Fiano learning. Up to now, still a support of me. This pandemic, upon never pulling chair, they could bend Bashiane, issue. If you find no pony, a canshine, a cocoa, Bukuni, it's a gift from God. I can she need about a woman. So no go feel in your entry market.
After his graduation from the Trinity Theological Seminary, Very Reverend Asford Yartey Quarcoo was commissioned as a minister of the gospel on 16 June 1985 at the Wesley Cathedral, Accra, by the late Most Reverend Charles Awopye Pratt, the 5th presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Ghana, and was stationed at the Ebenezer Methodist Society, Dansoman Circuit, as a circuit minister, where he served under the tutelage of the late Right Reverend Emmanuel Ashiti, superintendent minister of the Accra Circuit at the time.
He was a father and an in-law to us. Indeed, we have lost a great man. A great tree has fallen. Our pillar, which we lean on, has really fallen. A great vacuum has been created in our hearts. We'll always miss him. Personally, when I lost both parents, he became a father who will always assist and support me anytime I call on him. He was loving and caring. Indeed, he's a man of authority, a disciplinarian, and very strict. He treated us like his own children and not as in-laws. We've missed a father and a great one. Forever love him and forever miss him. Anytime it takes time for you to call him, he will call you and say, hello, Awula, Toyote, can we be fine? I will miss this call so much. He always addressed us as Awula. That is how he calls us. And we're very affectionate to him. Personally, I have no one now, but I know that wherever he is with our Maker, and he rests peacefully in his bosom. We will miss him. Indeed, we are missing him already. A great vacuum has been created in our hearts. A great vacuum that cannot be replaced. A strong man in this nation, and we forever love him. An in-law and a father. Very kind-hearted, full of advice. Anytime he sees you and he asks you anything, he will follow with an advice, not forgetting his Christian ways, always trying and teaching us to live according to the way of the Lord. Personally, I'm so much attached to him, and I will forever miss him.
On the 14th August 1988, Very Reverend Asford was ordained as a full minister at the Wesley Chapel, Cape Coast, by the late Most Reverend Dr. Jacob Stanley Adama Stevens, the 6th presiding bishop of the Methodist Church.
Very Reverend Dr. Yartey Asford Quarcoo, who was fascinating. Imami Nyemini, you wrong was fascinating. Be inlele egbe kan bi ashi ni egbe school na chuni National Lotteries Authority noeboin so mo ya buku Freeman Memorial Methodist Church as a youth leader. But no me yin few ni eka you suffer Trinity College. Igbo modern egbe na pepepe. Igba ini mani na the Wesley Methodist Church. Ni ke a preacher mufia mona emishe le wo me ne ka ko so mo ba amen bo so mo ba e ya ke nyumo ekile preaching power no me sumo esani agbele eyu achom ke o fe no ko no ba na le eyu achom ni asafu emi asumo esani wa si gbomo adisa le owana me pi asumo esani me ni le ba anyebu ya wanu ntwe supo na kanji boni afele ya me pi le ni ti ogbo ya ni ke ni bipo le po ise be na anye la nwe agbele no babo mode ye asafu emi akọ sofo weku mi le ya ke no sofo ni ewo weku no ko no fia no na fia weku emi mi intami ni iba ke ye dika no ni sa ke fi iba fi o pepe ke wo gbe ona no fia no eji ke ye no ko eyi mo bo ni ke ina gbomo esumo gbomo bi mi yo Wesley ke na mi no onko o ye problem lo nge o mbe problem ko ye problem me ba ke mi na kan wo ke yo unka tabi ni adiele kete other station she be fe be ni nokuba ba ya weku ke na mi le e ba sumo ni ke mi ana tuma dani waje weku nokufe mo ishi anukali Asford egbele ibagba na ye gbeku no ake yo mu e mo ntashi yo wa na 99 ni yo mu e ke mi for Sandegba eji Asford awolegbe shi wo fe wa yin into shi je ni mo yin to ji wo yin to no be ni egbu e ni o ba ke yo mu e na wa na ke mi ake mba ke wata o Freeman usofu ke leader ni wo kele ba yue ni wo kele ba yue anupale money na delegation ina sa ke no le ba ni e ke bi la ba ke ra ke ibe iwale na gbele ana ina mi aka we kunyo enyemi ina usofu ina leader e bi le ke bu aka no usofu e ke ra ke ba obi le egbo ìgbà bún ìyá fún kẹ́ mo kó akápẹ́ta rẹ̀ fún àrùn kẹ́ gbéná ní wọn ní ìbá gbéná mú ẹ náà ní ìkẹ́ ọba bún ìsàlẹ̀gbà kẹ́ níbi ìfihàn láti wọ́n gbélé ìgbà wèkú ẹ̀ náà ìgbà wèkú ẹ̀ náà wà èyí tsoko ní ìfà sí nínú mọ̀ọ́yọ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ wọ́n náà tù ní nínú mọ̀ọ́sùmọ̀ ló èfè.
Ate ye lo ti se to ni fi ofin e de mi e ja ahun be ke ba ho ka pa sare no e te you fellows ye sempe any Methodist be afe ni ne be sha ha so ya first ya me ha sha yo ya te ya fi anu kwale e here ya ahun e le do ni ba ya te ba ke mi ake e ba pa ni chumo she but they yourself don't be like ne ba ke mi ake is money yourself and ka ya mo asafo na mo le ne ba ka bo ba che ne no ne ba ya no bi a be sa shibe ne ya adbanka I'm a free man. No, man. Then I make all software, in the cut up into jolly but that I may have fee. No, man. That they are chia teta, the Akawolote, Akaba, Nakalete. I hear Billy Jemmy. Better I hear Billy Jabba, Papa being Fouquet, a beer, a car, a Billy or software, the mere fair when they bill to software. No, better back where you are, the Papa being full. Okay, le, a caquake, Asford, I or software, shots for the to software, maybe double quality. Bala ke da ti achita ke ewolo da here sada hele no hele da hele your software that's what ba ya nimbi and ya can be there and ya can be at a fair here wolo de ka ha ya lotus net mb ya hemi ne ya ba ya jabe ne bo de shibi de te e your software stays ni kasemo ya le gon de ba ya le gon de ba ahun de gbe software na aklete asese wa ko de abe ne ahijame ne bonso bo fe bo ka je ko de abe kate ne asawa ne ma ko hu ya je na cho egbe machala ka seke su agbe de kate je de ka fi oso bo aja fi ne ba papa ha be chue bi adi he ba him bi ade je yo ne ba la ke sana agbene e ba je se loboko do e wo lo de he be se ade no what te fante pip je aya hele bi na ba hele je me che papa be papa gbo no wo lo na ba sa ke mbi mba sai ao o so fu ashite asai asa fu ashite ke da bi bo ni bo le na sai on ni sai mo le keke bo fe bo no le na sai mo ni sai le mbe ate na wo la ta le ye fante pip je shabo sa de don de wo de hogba no te why be feel de be dem ka ja loboko de hale heko ya dan so ba de feel so ya dan so ba ya ja be feel so bo le bi baba loboko house e ba feel so bo ja loboko house e baba ya ja feel de ba bi gbo be de ba bi ba gbo e ma mi be ya ate ya loboko do ya ke la ke e pa le fa yo gbe ya ba si ni ma mi be hiwa e wo ka te go bi ko de bi bu ya je e ha ma mi ko de ba e ka o de ba e ba kwa ma bi e ka o yo gbe ya ngbe na nya ka gbe na bo de yo ye he kan si di ka fe ka nya ba kwe ka fe nya ba kwe no ya tet bu kwe better de se do bi ya ka be di je ba ba kwa ka tete do be ya ya so mo tu an do de ya di dale ka yo boy ka gbeshi ya da ka lo le be di bile ba e bibu ya be e ba ha e ke ha ma mi ni le e te ba se ri ada ba so fu e akele o so fu yi le do e de gbo se da ake ba je de he wo lo fe da fe wo lo fa ha le ta ke fu ma mi ya je be wo ke yo wa ya gbene ake ate ba ke mi ake papa ko ke e sumo esani she te bode le ba mi le ba bo mi amani e do papa la cho le bi sai she ye so le ya fe de shop ya so le ke do e papa ke sumo ni kala be ba de ba bi she ka ke o ake le papa le e ke no ni e ba gwa le ka be ne te so ka be ne ba go be ke ka no te so ale papa le de mpo de ke papa le ai e ya office ne ka ne papa le ba lo be ke te office e wa te wa atashi ka o fa ne bo ya Asford ma nka fa ne mi e ka o bi ne mi nsumo sa ne wa ja ke ya ishiba no ke ma wa le se vo nsumo na chita cho mo ko se me ke ma wa le yo ano kale sabe di ake bene de je dance ba mi ni efe ahwe ahie papa le ehiko wa boko aka da ka kele ya a je le ke ya de pong na kele te pong wo te wa je bi le pe pong me ne ya pong ta fe ready ake a fe de bi fe sha ba je bi de je pong bi ba o fe asese fi o ko ye soko bi de ke ni bi te le ka wo je le shi bi ke na le te fagbe akele fagbe ke te le te to mo machala ke ma bu ake to ba fi eyan le ba agbe le ba yan sofo ai te ba se ye wese je yo ya jame akele jaja na akele te kana ne fi oso mo ya kana ka je chale ya fe so mo ya be ka gboko egbo ya be ka la pa se le ya chest mo ne ba je ka ke gbe ke ba kana ehin na ka hun na je le ka jaja na akele te po akele ba po be na akele ba po yo de te ya sra le je be ni ya na le be de ya na le be de fe se o sofo papo le ake ba ekela ba na gbe na ba hele ki epo we e ba do shiko ni le ba share ko na make pon bi a make bule ahale e ja ke mo de fale ha mo ke gbo mo e ka shino aba wa mi ko da me ma so mo ko da me fe do wa ta kala te po we ni o te po ya ye gbe eje e je mi ni bi ni afefe ni se de a je la se ba ke je po we na kala ba bude ake ba ka so chi wie bo ya bude ja bude na kala ba better this there ko de ba se better this ko do bi aye te se bi e na kala ba ya better this there ya jabe je kaka je le ka te ko le gon akala ja ko le gon no akala te kwashima e ja kwashima akala ba bo so kan e ja bo so kan e da akala ya kwete ma methodist na akala te akwete ma methodist je wo yo le shebe ni ba fe e sha nyon ko be da ba ye bro ja ne da ba ke bi ake ajiele ja shakele ba adbaka horses ye de theater adbaka methodist e be ne tashi no aye bronya e she bronya anyon ko be aba ye bronya tashi na bi le ba sra be de ya be ba ye wa le ka be te check up do be de ba ne ba kwa ka na wa te check up wo ba lo le kwa mi ka enye mi dun bi ni bo mi bata si le ai afio se mele na ye no hi na ye ba e be la ka ni e fi hi na bu e wo de fi na be na no ba ni aye no ye na ko la no ho ba ka a twa la ni ko ni manale e ba sra bi le ya ba le ba gbe la ni e ba ni ka aba uncle ababoja chagbana ni anu ka fi ona abu eso ka ma fi bagba na aka de sister ya le ba ke la ke ka fi bagba na ya ko le bo ka o te ko le bo mo sha ha mi doctor ba wa ya bi e te ba de te e ba bi a do me le aka ko e be ko ani mo ka to le ho be ka akele te Asford de holiday ba ya e fa be le ka enjoy she de tashin wo hogba na nyon ko be o chi eje ake gbeke bi na bi aba na be de je te ke papa be he wa le ni wo kele te doctor fo ehwe wo ke wo fe wo je po ehwe be se papa wo ka ba gbe na ke wi mo sha he kan se ke di ake wo ba bi anu ba gbeke mo ko aka ba bi e na ka lo yo te ke yo jo ba back at me and girl sister, your sister, but you better be a John, the doctor for your feeling. No, I swear it now. Back at the car, but Jan Chabby back at that start back well. No, walk at the Charlie. No, the Charlie lay beer. I go back on girl, sister. Come about I do where. Brother, she come up and go back. Okay, ma, but better be a cab in Yake. Come, master, I'm a papa, I'm a baba. What I'm a babble, or am I here? No, yeah, there, Charlie. I try, cow, if I'm a back on cow. There, no coffee, yeah, cash if you, what the car be back. Then, cash no, I can't talk about no about touching there, don't know about Charlie. I can be a bar. Oh, I can be a bar, they say. No Methodist in the flavor suffer. Hey, that later. Hey, now, cousin, come with that. Hey, guy, Abanya, here, fair yarn, okay. I Papa soft, young Papa suffer, nay, like a man down, like a that meant a ballet, not better. Now, I call the boy at bar. Betty. Asford Rainbow. I can't better quite better. I can't look of fair be the cat. Hey, be I can tell us many ba. Yet, then I may agbo. I may care boko. She live in a may a dear bo. I know quite a Sunday. They me a reho. In for few. In where they can, I didn't feel okay. Got there be a form in there. In where they don't get touched there. Here, what do? Nanny got more by you all. Nanny been there. What? Oh, I saw there. I got back there. Oh, what happened? She no more here. Better cook.
Between 1989 and 1992, he served as the circuit minister at the Methodist Society within the Somania Circuit. Determined to pursue higher studies, Reverend Asford received a sponsorship package to the United States of America to study for a Master of Arts in Theological Studies at the McCormick Theological Seminary, Chicago, from 1992 to 1993. Upon his return to Ghana, he was reassigned to the Wesley House as the Assistant Secretary of Conference and was attached to the Abeka Circuit between 1993 and 1995. Very Reverend Dr. Asford Yartey Quarcoo was transferred to the Pung Circuit in 1995 and was subsequently inducted as a Superintendent Minister on 7th November 1997 at the Mount Sinai Methodist Society, Bong-on-Sea. He served as a Superintendent Minister for the circuit until the year 2000 when he was transferred to the Abri Circuit. Having served as a Superintendent Minister for 2 years at the Abri Circuit within the Kofodia Diocese, Very Reverend Dr. Asford Yartey Quarcoo was transferred to the Accra Circuit, Wesley Cathedral in 2002, where he served as a Superintendent Minister until 2006. He was again transferred to the Kolegono Circuit between 2006 and 2011. He was transferred to the Kwashiman Circuit from 2011 to 2014.
Papa also for Very Reverend Dr. Asford Quarcoo. It's a be in Numojimi. No le wa 9 wa yo jogba ke weku komi ke nyemi fio ma ke ye osofo yele mi agency bia mi ni eji oblani no mi yen Methodist asafo e bi jogba sure kwa ya fo no kile ni if you are not instruct Methodist as a poem. No, Benny Nachemo Akes and Yayo software. That was in 1982. It was software year. 1985 Bena. A commission like a software. Or ni akele software year shishi. Ya this is Dansoma Ebenezer Methodist Society. Ni Echuni ya jema keja 85 ashi 1988. Jeme ye was of Method Obejano to na abneke awobo software ke after 3 years yes na odimbo. Ake usofu full usofu 1988 na odinle ake usofu denje recognize usofu keja ndo se ni akalati pong ye Eastern region. Jeme ya chuni ya somanya circuit. Jeme chuni ya le balake 19 okay. Chuni ya jema akosofo. Dale balake 1992 sani ifagbe. Le acha osofo di kasemono. 1992 ifagbe at the US. They have a master's in theology. It was a 1-year program. No 93 and quiz any ba. Germany akalewu Wesley House. Niji wo Wesley Methodist Wesley headquarters. Germany achuni ya no say achuni ya abeka circuit. Ne Germany akalete bon ye tema niami. Jema philosopher Nupa, the superintendent minister. Echuni Yajame for almost 5 years. That was between 1995 to 2000. Or 2000, Ajele Keti Aburi circuit. Le Achuni Yajame for 2 years as a superintendent minister. Le Jaburi Akeba Wesley, Palladium, from 2002 to 2006. Then Akeba Wesley. Eba chair no chuma no akosofo jeme eba tuni for 4 years. No, between 2022 to 2026 he was the superintendent minister at Wesley. From 2026 to 2020 from 2026 2006 to 2010 akalete polygonal circuit le atuni jeme as a superintendent minister. From Jeme 2010, issue Jeme na kalete Quarcoo circuit. Jeme acha osofu yele ni chumo no Jeme na Jeme ajele un keba o. Amejele keba aboso kan circuit. Aboso kan circuit le e osofu Jeme for almost 4 years. Na jele Jeme ko keba o Akwetema circuit. From 2016 up to 2020 in Akwetema circuit. No 2020 ni last year no ajele Akwetema na kleba Adabanka circuit. Ni Jeme kashi beni a choice he was in Adabanka circuit. No kaja beni e yosofo an kashi bi ane it's 36 years. 36 years as a minister. Your software really me ebo modern ake efe doctorate degree. Doctorate enyo. So be in academic priesthood there. Waka is a doctor. So he's now very reverend doctor as for Quarcoo. Ekawa ojoba tumoni juye. Ekawa ojoba until his timely death worked national sang ni ebalake biane no chorenche eba chele. So what I can say briefly jake she worked ojoba ni no ne bale nyumbo peji moni enu osisi won bi ni nyumbo renche ale to e papa oni kebi e she no fe no afi ojoba fi o ni wo yo no wa ni ma wi ni.
However, he lost his beloved wife Sarah in the year 2013 after a short illness. As a result of his wife's demise, the late Very Reverend Asford Yartey Quarcoo remarried Ms. Joyce Namia Dudu in holy matrimony on 20th May 2014 at the Accra Red Church.
I met my husband when I was just a church member at the Macedonian Methodist Church. In fact, I him much, but one day he called me and into his office actually, and what he said was that I want to marry you. In fact, it got me thinking because I never thought of marriage. But people spoke to me, men of God spoke to me, my family spoke to me, and I agreed to marry him. So we got married on the 17th of May 2014. And I can say that it's been good. He was everything to me and my family. Everybody who was close to me was also close to him. And he made everybody around me very happy because he never wanted to do anything that would hurt me. So he tried his best. He was like a father to me. He was, I don't know the adjectives to describe him. In fact, he was my everything. All I can say that I've lost somebody that I can never ever replace. I can never ever replace. He was an energetic man. He was very spiritual and he was principled. And a lot of people didn't like that about him. But what they didn't know was that he has a very soft spot that when you get to know him, you will know that he's really somebody that you can approach with all your problems. To cut a long story short, as if he knew there was something that would happen to him, because from the beginning of the year he was very unlike him. So I asked him whether there was something going on, and he said no. I wasn't happy about the way I saw him. But one morning he called me and he was like, I want you to live your life. Don't worry about me. Everything will be fine. I didn't understand those words. So I was finding an opportune time to ask him what those words meant. But I didn't get the chance to. I saw he was dull. So I had to really force him to take him to the hospital. Initially he didn't want to go. But I said no, you have to. So after a couple of visits to the hospital, he was finally hospitalized. It wasn't something that I knew he would leave me so soon. And it's been a blow. On the 13th of February, he called. And as usual, I went with his Sunday pastor, Reverend Joshua. And all he said was, in fact, when we went there, the nurses were like, oh, Reverend is fine. He just wanted to wish you a happy Valentine. And that he said the next day he had an appointment or something. But because I knew it's not something that he would go forever, we didn't really take any notice of that. So we went and he encouraged us as usual. All the days that he was in the hospital, I think 2 weeks, all that he says is everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. So he just said, tomorrow go to church. Encourage the church that everything will be fine. So I said okay. So on the morning of the 14th, I was getting ready to church, but I wasn't feeling okay. So I called the hospital and they told me to come, bring something. And as a health personnel, I knew what that meant. So I called Reverend Joshua and we went. And lo and behold, because the nurses and the doctors were so free with me, they couldn't really say it. So I had to ask them, is he passed? And they said yes. So I told them I want to see him. And there I saw my husband lying there, motionless. It was a blow, because I've lost somebody.
Okay, bid him farewell then. Sorry for your loss. Did he allow you farewell?
My husband, I know you don't want me to cry. You never wanted me to cry. You never wanted me to grieve over anything. That has kept me up to this time. Every time I look at the door.
Very Reverend Dr. Asford Quarcoo served as the Superintendent Minister of the Abosiokai Circuit between 2013 and 2017, Akwetiman Circuit between 2017 and 2020, and Adabraka Circuit from 2020 to 2021. As a Superintendent Minister, he served both as the Synod Secretary and Assistant Synod Secretary to the Accra and Tema Dioceses, respectively. In his quest to earn academic laurels in his chosen career, Very Reverend Dr. Asford Yartey Quarcoo began an online doctorate program with the Shalom Bible College and Seminary in the United States of America and was awarded a doctorate degree in ministry, or DMin, in 2016 after successful completion of the program.
Glory to God. My name is the Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete, the President of the Worldwide Miracle Outreach, and also a canon, honorary canon of the Anglican Church, which is also the Church of England in the UK. I pay this living tribute to my good friend and brother, the Very Reverend Dr. Asford Yartey Quarcoo, whom I refer to as a brother because we moved beyond being friends. Our friendship extended to our families. I got to know his family. He got to know my family. I got to know his children. He got to know my children. Of course, I saw his children grew up, just as he would say, seeing my children grew up. But the relationship was such that it was a godly-based relationship. The Reverend Asford Quarcoo helped me in diverse ways in picking my reading with the Methodist Church Ghana. And I must say that he played a very great role in my ministrations during the first ever Methodist crusade that was held in the year 2000. He was a director for evangelism. We related well, we coordinated well. He was a man who was fit in every pair of shoes that was given to him. He was a friend when he should be a friend, a father when he should be a father, a colleague when he should be, and certainly a man of God when he should be a man of God. One of the things I really love about the Very Reverend Dr. Asford Quarcoo was that he believed in the Spirit. He believed in the things of the Spirit, believed in deliverance. He was one unique Methodist clergy who was very balanced. And he wanted to learn, wanted to know more. And introduced him to Benny Hinn, introduced him to our Robert University, traveling alongside with him to some of those trips was something he cherished and relished a lot. I will miss him. But the most important thing was that he was a man that we also sat and we prayed together. The many times that he visited me in the United Kingdom and was part of our ministry crusade, his contribution was enormous. He was also a man of a great humor, and he liked people. I remember the first thing I realized about him was many years ago when something happens and I'll show you a red card and I'll show you a yellow card. We watched boxing together, we watched football together. He was somebody that related to people from all walks of life. And there was one thing my wife Barbara and I noticed about him, that from Kolegono to the Asafachanete Road to Aboso Kai, to Kwashiman, and to Akweteman, even before he got to Adabaraka, where he finally was called to glory. He showed a lot of confidence, authority, and deposited a God-fearing attitude. We will miss him greatly. I just want to thank God for his life and thank God for the 69 years God gave him to us. I want to say that Asford Quarcoo was a great man. He brought dignity to the clergy. He was tall, bold, strong, and I keep telling him that he looks like a giant and he speaks like a giant in the Lord. I know Benny Hinn will miss him. I know Clifford Dollar will miss him. I know Marcelo of blessed memory would have been meeting him now in heaven. And I know the many things that he got excited about. God will bless him to them. I want to say, my wife Barbara, my children, the entire LT ministries, and all the people that have connected to Asford Quarcoo, I want to wish him well. That may his soul rest in perfect peace. It is a shock and very painful because I had a chance to visit him in hospital. I had a chance to talk with him while he was sick. And little did we know that God has his plan to take him to heaven. I believe without a shred of doubt that he has made it to heaven. And I want to say that anybody who is weeping today or in pain today should remember that the Right Reverend Dr. Asford Yartey Quarcoo has made it to his maker. And the Lord keep us all. And once again,
that same year, an honorary doctorate degree was conferred on him by Richard Roberts School of Ministry from the United States of America in recognition of his distinguished merit in biblical studies. He served as both the Synod Secretary and Assistant Synod Secretary to the Accra and Tema Diocese. He also served as Chairman of the Fellowship of the Kingdom, FK. The late Papa Osofo Asford also served as a member of the board of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, as well as several boards and committees of the Methodist Church. With just a year left to retire from active service after 36 years in ministry, unfortunately, Very Reverend Asford Yartey Quarcoo was called home by his Creator.
I know you love God so much, and I know you are seated at this right time. I bid you farewell. Sleep well, my husband. Even in death, I will still love you. And we'll meet one day. Farewell.
At this stage, I would say a gallant soldier has fallen, a loving, caring, and a passionate father is going to be with his maker. We are not sad as though we don't know what is happening, but we are only unhappy because he has left too early. But we give thanks to God that in his infinite mercies he has come to call him to give him eternal rest. No other Papa, level Papa, Dui, Okenuncho Aya, no denche ke elawulue anyu hie. Konigbe ne ke boji no ne e ke bo ahye hwehwehwe. Ka ata be no wa akpe kun ya nyumwa poka.
We know you are resting in the bosom of your Maker whom you serve faithfully, and we know that in the fullness of time on that beautiful day, we are all going to meet again in glory. We love you, Father, but we know God loves you more. Safe home and sleep well in the bosom of your Maker till we meet again. Amen.
Rest in peace, Dad.
The right hand of God the Father Almighty.
It's hard to say farewell to, but we know it's the Maker who decides whom to call and at what time to call. We know that this is the perfect time that he has called on him, and he will rest peacefully in his bosom, and he will give him a sound sleep till we meet again. Dad, as we always call him, Yawo Ojogba.
May his soul rest in peace. Hallelujah.
Okay, I know what you want to buy. No, I thought, now I'm walking with tea. Me, Dallas, I don't. She. Ojogba, can't back my point about we got him. I for me, I come about what Jabby. No baby, no Sabi, oh, God, because I don't channel her Jabby. Not young Tobo. A Tobo, their job. Cash and me home my back. My more money. Oh, she could be. Oh, she could be. Oh, she could be. Now you walk a wire. A job on near Tobo. Ya chale, be like ba me be ofe kashida.
Very Reverend Asford Quarcoo, together with his wife, Joyce Quarcoo, and children, traveled to spread the gospel until he was called home by his Maker on that fateful day on the 14th of February 2021. Indeed, your name and deeds will forever remain in our hearts and minds. We wish you a safe journey to your Maker, and may He grant you peaceful and eternal rest till we meet again. Papa, Osofo, ni Yartey, husband, father, brother, uncle, Nanyo Papa, Yawo Ojogba, fare thee well.
For thee all the fires of sin I resign. My gracious Redeemer, my Savior art thou. If ever I love thee, my Jesus, 'tis now. I love thee because thou hast first